My name is Jordan Holden, and I am a junior early childhood major. This photo story is intended for a 4th grade history class. Christopher Columbus was an explorer, navigator, and colonizer. Columbus was born in Genoa, Italy in 1451. Although little is known about his childhood, it is apparent that he was well educated and spoke 7 languages as an adult. Columbus first took sea at the age of 14 and continued throughout his adolescence. In 1479, he married Felipa Muniz Perestrola, and in 1480, his son Diego was born. In 1485, Felipa died, and Columbus and Diego moved to Spain, where he began trying to obtain a grant to explore Western trade. He believed that the earth was a sphere, and a ship could sail the far east, and he could set up trading routes in Asia by sailing west. For 8 years, Columbus proposed his plan to the Portuguese and Spanish kings, but they turned him down each time. In 1492, King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella agreed to consider his requests if he promised to bring back gold, spices, and silk from Asia, along with spreading Christianity and exploring China. On the evening of August 3, 1492, Columbus set sail from Palos de la Frontera. He set sail with 3 ships, the Pinta, the Niña, and the Santa Maria. The first voyage takes 5 weeks, which is much longer than Columbus had expected. On October 12, 1492, they finally spot land. Columbus thinks they have landed somewhere in Asia, and they named the land San Salvador. Columbus calls the natives on the land Indians, mainly because he thinks they have landed in India. Because he did not find riches, Columbus decided to continue sailing in search of China. Instead, he ended up visiting Cuba and Hispaniola. On November 21, 1492, the Pinta and its crew left to explore on its own. Then, on Christmas Day, Columbus's Santa Maria wrecked off the coast of Hispaniola. Because there was limited space on the lone Niña, Columbus had to leave about 40 men behind at a fort they named Navidad. Soon after, Columbus set sail for Spain, where he arrived on March 15, 1493, completing his first voyage west. After the success of finding a new land, Columbus set sail west again on September 23, 1493, with 17 ships and 1,200 men. The purpose of this journey was to establish colonies in the name of Spain, to check on the crew in Navidad, and to continue his search for the riches in what he still thought was a far east. On November 3rd, the crew members sighted land and found 3 more islands, Dominica, Guadalupe, and Jamaica, which Columbus thought were islands off of Japan. Because there were still no riches there, they went on to Hispaniola, only to discover that the fort of Navidad had been destroyed and his crew was killed after they mistreated the indigenous population. At the site of the fort, Columbus established the colony of Santa Dominga, and after a battle in 1495, he conquered the entire island of Hispaniola. He then set off for Spain in March of 1496 and arrived in Cádiz on July 31st. Columbus's 3rd voyage began on May 30th, 1498, and he took a more southern route than the previous 2. Still looking for China, he found Trinidad and Tobago, Grenada, and Margarita on July 31st. He also reached the mainland of South America. On August 31st, he returned to Hispaniola and found the colony of Santa Dominga there in shambles. After a government representative was sent to investigate the problems in 1500, Columbus was arrested and sent back to Spain. Columbus's final voyage began on May 9, 1502, and he arrived in Hispaniola in June. Once there, he was forbidden from entering the colony, so he continued to explore further. On July 4th, he set sail again and later found Central America. In January 1503, he reached Panama and found a small amount of gold, but was forced out of the area by those who lived there. After numerous problems and a year of waiting on Jamaica after his ships had problems, Columbus set sail for Spain on November 7, 1504. When he arrived there, he settled with his son in Seville. After Queen Isabella died on November 26, 1504, Columbus tried to regain his governorship of Hispaniola. In 1505, the king allowed him to petition but did nothing. 1 year later, Columbus became ill and died on May 20th, 1506. During his life, he never knew what he had discovered. Although he was not the first European to explore the Americas, his major contribution to geography is that he was the very first to visit, settle, and stay in these new areas, effectively bringing a new area or the world into the forefront of geographic thought of the time. October 12, 1492 is now known as Columbus Day.